In this video, I will talk about the reviews vector chain. As a reminder, our hospital system chatbot has an agent which has three tools available, which are the wait times function, the cipher chain, and the reviews vector chain. In the last video, I talked about the cipher chain. In this video, we talk about the reviews vector chain. So if we get our hands dirty and take a look at the code, as we've done for the cipher chain, we define our vector chain to which we pass the model. Again, I'm using a model from Hugging Face registry, which is in this case a Qwen3 30 billions. After that, we pass the review prompt as we've done in the cipher chain. The review prompt is a chat prompt template that needs the context and the question as input variables, and we pass messages. Messages are actually a list of two prompt templates. One of them is the review human prompt, which actually contains the question of the user. The other one is the system prompt, which contains the instructions that we give to the LLM alongside with the context. As usual, among the instructions, we explain to the LLM its role. Like here, we say your job is to use patient reviews to answer questions about their experience at the hospital. We add some instructions like be as detailed as possible, don't make up any information to try to avoid hallucinations, and so on. And here, the context will contain all information returned from the vector store, which is the most relevant to answer to the user question. And this vector store will actually be stored in our Neo4j instance that we define here. What we call here Neo4j vector index. We define it from an existing graph, which is the graph that we created in one of the previous videos. For this instance, we need to precise the embedding. Here I'm using the Qwen3 embeddings, the 8 billions version. We pass all information needed to connect to our instance. The name of our index will be reviews. The node that will contain our embeddings is review, and our final embedding will contain information related to these node properties. So the textual information like physician name, patient name, the text itself of the review, and the hospital name. And the embedding node property will have embedding as name. As a reminder, if we take a look at our Neo4j instance, here we have our nodes. If we click on review, here we have the graph representation of our reviews. Let's click on one of them. Here we see all the fields in reviews, including the embedding field or property that contains the review embedding. Now let's try out our vector chain. We just need to invoke it using a given question. In our case, our question is, what have patients said about hospital efficiency? And we ask the model to mention details from specific reviews. Let's run this code, and here we have our model answer. Let's put the question here. So here, to answer the question, the model said patients have expressed dissatisfaction with hospital efficiency, citing long wait times as a major concern across multiple reviews. As we asked for details from specific reviews, here we have some examples of some patients treated at this hospital explicitly stated that the wait times were unbearable. He talked about significant delays in receiving care and criticized the lack of communication. Another patient here mentioned that while the staff made efforts to ensure his comfort, the waiting time again were a bit long. We have lengthy wait times here. And here we have another critique not related to wait time, but it's answering the question which was about the hospital efficiency. And at the end, we have kind of conclusion given by the model, which says that patients have cited long wait times and poor communication as key indicators of inefficiency. So what happened here behind the scenes is that given that question, let's look at it in the chatbot architecture. The agent takes this question from the user, decides to call the vector chain tool which is in this situation the best tool to answer to the question. A semantic search is done in the Neo4j vector index. The most relevant reviews are returned. This is what we call the context in our chain, and the model use these relevant reviews to answer to the user question, and the chain returns an answer to the user as a final step. This is it, guys, for the vector chain. I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't hesitate to send me questions in the video comments if you have any. In the next video, we will see how we will put all this together to use our final LangChain agent. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.